I would like to call the Finance Committee meeting to order. First order of business is approve last month's committee meeting minutes. Motion made by Supervisor Garrity, second by Supervisor Merlino. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. We're going to hold off on... oh, you did do it this time. Privilege of the floor. You guys didn't put it. Nice. Item 1, request transfer of funds, and those are attached for committee approval.
Can we ask that we read each one of these individually?
And I've got a luncheon at 11:20 that I have to make, so...
I'll make the motion, we approve the transfer.
Not happening.
Motion made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor McDevitt. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Michael, you're on board. I would like to let the committee know that items B and C were just discussed in personnel, so they, as this is Mike's committee, it had to be put on our agenda, so...
Item A, which is a request to transfer $1,874.41 from contingency account to pay the Affordable Care Act comparative effectiveness research fee. It was underestimated how much we were going to have to pay for this.
I'll move it.
Motion made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Merlino. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And like I said, B and C were
I'll
covered.
move A and B. Or B and C, excuse
Okay,
me.
motion made by
Second.
Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Bramer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, moving on for referrals from County Facilities Committee. Under Airport, we have a request to increase capital project. This is the amount of $1,288,500. And item B also was discussed in committee. Don DeGraw was here. This is for the grant funding for $40,000 for promotion of Floyd Bennett Memorial Airport.
I'll move A and B.
Motion made by Supervisor Simpson to move A and B. Second by Supervisor Bramer. Discussion?
Thanks. On A, I know we had discussion about not letting the contractor get too far ahead of us in going through with the current project proposal. So I would like to make a caveat to this, that they do not expend any money further than doing the hydrology study until they come back to committee.
I believe that was a process anyway. The grant only allows you to do certain...
Now, this money was, my understanding was this money would let them run through the whole thing, but we were told
We did
that
ask.
they're going to do it in phases. I would like that to be spelled out in the resolution.
Supervisor Simpson did make the motion.
I'm not opposed.
Not opposed? Okay. Okay, so you guys got the amendment there for the resolution? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Under Buildings and Grounds, we have a request to authorize the chairman of the board to execute a new agreement with the State of New York court system for court cleaning and maintenance services.
I'll move it.
Made by Supervisor Garrity, second by Supervisor Bramer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Under Criminal Justice, Sheriffs, we have a request to amend the county budget in the amount of $5,078,000. I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses.
I'll move for
I don't have
A.
my glasses.
You don't-
Damn it! I thought I was doing so well too. For $5,078.15, and that's for the funding for Six Flags. Motion made by Supervisor Bramer, second by Supervisor Merlino. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, moving on to Economic Growth and Development under Planning. This is a request to authorize recording a portion of the contribution from Warren County to the Lake George Park Commission. These are grant matches, and motion made by Supervisor Garrity.
I'll move A and B.
Okay, motion to move A and B, seconded by Supervisor McDevitt. Any discussion?
I was told that we are actually going to get more money on these two grants than what was proposed
Yeah,
originally.
we're going to get about $200,000 more.
More
on
money.
washing.
Boat wash.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, we do have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Moving on to item 6. This is from Health, Human, and Social Services under Mental Health. Ryan did address this earlier, if you recall. This is for the transfer amount of $35,000, and this is for the mandated chargeback expense.
I'll move it.
Motion made by Supervisor McDevitt, seconded by Supervisor Garrity. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 7, we do have our county DPW superintendent here. He is asking that we withdraw A, B, C, and D for the for this.
You did ask.
So this will be brought up at a later time.
Yeah, if I could just ask real quick. Supervisor Bramer had asked during the board meeting how much money we had left in the account. I had asked my fiscal manager, I texted her and we asked her what was in the account. She told me it was $11,000, not realizing that she couldn't see it all, that everything wasn't posted in there yet. So we're actually now in the hole approximately $17,000 for that Charles R. Wood Park. I just had the mayor and Dave here. One of the things that put us in the hole this year is the invoices that came in at the end of last year didn't get paid until May, so they got paid out of 2018 money, which put us automatically $12,000 in the hole. And that money should have been paid out of 2017 money. But the bottom line is there's not enough revenue that comes in for the Charles R. Wood Park to cover all the expenses associated with it. The mayor and Dave hinted to, well, maybe some of the other expenses beyond what they have, they should start putting in their share of 38% of expenses. So I think it's something that we have to sit down at the first of the year and basically come up with a solution of how we're going to make this project or this code break even, so that we're not in the hole.
So we're not sending this back to committee then?
We'll eventually have to find a funding source to be able to pay for this, basically the deficit that we're in right now. These are for the attendance for the village during events, and to take care of the facility. They're also for the contract grass work that Jim Gerard does for that turf management does for the property as well. That was, I just heard one of the discussions is raise the fee. That's, to me, maybe we're not getting enough money from fees for that. I believe Americade used to pay $80,000 to DEC to use their state facility, and I think we got from Americade last year $18,000.
Supervisor Garrity?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I sit here and the village will come in or the mayor will come in and ask us to waive the fees on certain events. And now, I wish the mayor was here, because he'll come in and ask us to waive certain fees or cut the rate, the hourly or the daily rate on certain events. And then now we don't have money to pay him for maintaining the event. So I think we need to stick to the fee schedule, at least stick to the fee schedule and figure out how much of the fee schedule we waived this past year on certain events, because, charity begins at home. And, I mean, we're all under the assumption we're breaking even, and we're not.
Kevin?
One of the things I think that has to be looked at, I'm not sure if Mike can talk to this or not, but the bottom line, I think we've been operating now 3, maybe 4 years on that site, and I got the indication yesterday when we had a brief discussion about this, that the money, based on the conservation easement, the money was supposed to get put into a pot to be held every year, but it sounds to me like the money is not going in any pot. If there was ever any extra, and I don't know, we may have to run through the project, that it was going back into the general fund and then into the fund balance. So, in reality, I don't know over the past 4 years how much money has been left over through the years that may have gone into the fund balance, where maybe it should have stayed in a pot of money that should have gone for the park itself.
Supervisor Garrity?
Do these fees also pay for the south, the swamp?
They all.
I used to say that same question yesterday.
It's supposed to.
No, it doesn't.
Based on the conservation easement,
They
these
have
fees
it.
are also supposed to cover
The whole property.
the environmental property, the south park.
Yes, it's supposed to be.
Affectionately known as the swamp.
Sure.
Affectionately. Let me clarify that.
Supervisor Bramer.
Thanks. Can we, Mike, do you have any idea how much was left over and then rolled into the general fund that really belongs to this pot of money?
No, it wasn't a substantial amount, but I don't know the figure exactly. And Kevin and I talked about this yesterday, we really need to sit down and restructure how this is being taken care of, because I'll be totally honest with you.
I asked about that
I'm confused
Monday.
about how it all plays out and where it's all going and what's being spent and what isn't being spent. So I think we need to sit down and kind of re-grasp this whole thing and come up with, I'm not necessarily saying we need to adjust the fee schedule, I'm saying we need to adjust where the money comes in and where it's going to and how it's accounted for.
But the problem I see in this...
Go ahead,
is-
Supervisor Garrity.
Thanks. I almost got you on track. The problem I see is that we collect this money from parking, but when it comes to payout, we're taking out of parking money, and we should only be taking 63% out of that parking money to pay for this, and the village is on the hook for the rest of it. Yes, no?
The money that comes in for events, okay, park for events, whether we had a fair down there or whatever it may be, or Americade, that money goes into this deferred revenue account, which is supposed to pay the expenses on the park. The money that comes in for the parking, which is the Westbrook parking lot, that money does not get put into the park, and it was never supposed to. That's not part of the conservation easement. That's the county park, so it's our money off that parking lot. That money pays for the maintenance on that parking lot, which is mainly plowing. And again, that money at the end of the year goes back into the general fund, into the fund balance. It does not come back to DPW or anything. So that's going into the fund balance as well.
Mhm.
Okay, so this will be, actually, you think it'll be discussed? The mayor said he's not in a rush anyway, right? So we don't have to...
The mayor is not concerned, and he feels that maybe, as Mike said, and I think it's a good idea, that maybe we sit down with the treasurer's office, with the mayor, and we hash out how this should actually work, so that we're not in the red. This should be, we should either be breaking even or hopefully making money on it, so that we need to build on it now.
Absolutely.
I would like to get this resolved before the end of the year so that we don't have a problem with the books like we did last year where the money, they didn't submit some stuff from 17 until 18, and we paid out 18 funds, which is basically resulting in why we're short now, because budgeted money was spent 17 instead of 18. The other thing I'd like to say is, my understanding is that whatever the percentage is, 62-38 or what, I don't know, but that isn't the exact, but it's close. If we do have a deficit, my feeling is that the county should only be responsible for 62% of that, and the village should be responsible for the 38%. I know that isn't the exact percentage.
Supervisor Merlino.
Yeah, I think we've got to really sit down and go over this plan was put together 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it really wasn't thought out. And then probably, I don't know, must have been 2 years ago, maybe 2 and 3 years ago, the conservative group says, well, we're not paying any more for that swamp land. It fell back to our responsibility, which I never remembered at the beginning that we were going to get that, have to cover those costs. So I think it's time we do sit down and revamp this whole project so we can start the next year going in the right direction.
Yep.
The last thing to add on what Mike said, it is 62-38, but the village takes care of everything down there. We don't, the DPW, we don't touch anything on the park. We don't do anything with the baths. We do not a bath. So basically, the revenue that's supposed to come in is supposed to take care of everything that the mayor and his
Big village or whatever.
down there, as well as for the south parcel. But I do agree with Mike, the rest of the expenses, water and sewer taxes, utilities, whatever else, which that's not contemplated in this. Those are all the extra expenses that are out of this. Those should be split as that 62-38.
And you have about 3 weeks. I know you wanted to wrap it up by the end of the year. If by chance you guys figure it out, we can always bring it from the floor at the board meeting. So.
I don't think we'll have to. I think we could just, if we resolve it, and then in January we can still have time until February.
Yeah, if we can get it done in January, that would be great. I just don't want it to drag on, because then we're going to be in the same situation we are now.
Yeah. Okay, any more discussion on 7? Okay, moving on to item 8 is the referral from Public Works Committee. Item A is Parks and Recs, and this is a request to authorize transfer of parks.
Mr. Chairman, can I move A through H, since it has been fully vetted in Public Works Committee?
We have a motion to approve A through H by Supervisor McDevitt, seconded by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion on these? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Item 9, referrals from Support Services Committee. So, again, item B was brought up in Support Services, but it does have to come through Finance, so
What are you looking at?
item B, it's just,
A and
9A,
B.
we gotta do 9A first.
you want to do A as well? Okay, all right, motion made by Supervisor Garrity, second by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion on these?
Oh.
Yes? No?
On B,
Right.
the local law, okay, so the plan
Right, that was
is
the,
to hold the public hearing in December. Nope.
January.
January.
This is just to set us, okay, set us up to hold the public hearing in January.
It'll
okay.
introduce the law and set the public hearing.
hopefully be done by March, right?
Will be done by late February, so that we're in, by late January, so that we're in place, that when that 30 days will run out in late February.
So everything will be retroactive, right?
No.
We wish.
No.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Request by the county administrator. Anything, Brian, for...
The journal items, if there's any questions on those, I'll do my best. Tammy's not here, so now's your chance.
Mhm. Any questions? No? Okay. And then there are no pending items, so what's... Yes?
On the two items that came out of the committee meeting this morning.
For Support
on
Services?
The settlement with Mr. Whitehead, do we need to approve that in finance?
I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
We have money in the county attorney's office to pay that.
Okay. And what about, I would like to discuss the RFP for the real estate person. Does that need to come here? Let me just say, my only concern is that we would, I know, Mary, you said you want to go with the lowest bidder. My concern is that that may be the person that we had last year that was not the best. So I would prefer that we do not select someone that we had problems with.
It's lowest responsible, isn't it?
Right.
Can I address that?
Mm-hmm.
That was also my concern, so I did a little research into that company, and that person is no longer with the company, and the other person that is with the company refuses to come up this far north, so we don't suspect they're going to submit a bid.
I talked to Julie yesterday. I thought she told me that that was one of the bidders, so that's why I was worried.
I did not get that information, but I can certainly
Okay.
contact her today.
Okay, but you are, that's already on your radar. Okay. Oh.
Okay.
I didn't you?
Okay, privilege of the floor. Anyone wish to address the Finance Committee? Seeing none, motion to adjourn. Motion made by Supervisor Simpson, seconded by Supervisor Merlino. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Like I finished.